Hello, wherever you may be. Put a post up the other day talking about past lifetimes, or with women being burned at the stake. And I thought I'd reflect upon it from my own experience in a very, very unique, different way with this. When I got involved with the healing, initially I had no clue of what it is, of what the healing is. But I knew that the feeling and the pain that I felt physically in my body, around the heart and my skeletal system, and there was a few other things, something wasn't quite right. And I remember I went and I attended a live event here in Vancouver years ago. And there was a gentleman down in Florida that was hosting the event at the time. I was open enough that when I attended the meditation, there was literally a gaping hole to the left side of my chest, easily the size of a grapefruit. And I could literally feel this hollow indent in there. So that immediately told me from a past lifetime that either in a worn-torn battleground somewhere, that's what wound up happening to me. So that was my start of many starts going down the rabbit hole with this. And this is what I'd like to share. Like you mentioned earlier, I had no prior experience to this. I had no idea what healing is, spiritual guides, the etherical part, the astral part of us, the spiritual side of us. I had no freaking clue. And I was better suited as a pilot at the time. What I'd like to share is the moment I made a decision that I was willing to go inside and start cleaning things up energetically. The energetic part is when you leave the physical body, all the thoughts, feelings, and emotions, they don't disappear, they all come with us. So when they leave with us, I made a decision after that I've seen a few things in my life and I'm choosing to have a massive closure with things. And I really had no idea what I was getting into. However, when I made the decision, I got involved with this is what I'd like to share. At one point, I was introduced to an environment that reminded me of everything back from my childhood. And it gave me the opportunity, a wondrous opportunity, to close everything. And in doing so, it was the most liberating and it was a positive experience. And what it showed me is when I started cleaning up and identifying the thoughts, feelings, and the emotional entanglements with this, that was the toughest part. As I started clearing out the emotional entanglements, bit by bit, this is where everything else started to unravel. So whoever I saw, whoever I felt, and I started doing guided meditations with this. And I started with the feelings of shame and guilt, because they're on the map of consciousness, they're sitting at the bottom. And I'll share with you from my own experience that these are like the lead anchors. And it's not so much was working so hard in life, which is the one thing that I was doing. I thought the harder I worked, the more hours I worked. And at one point it was nice, I had a 6-figure job. However, there was other people that were pushing a pencil onto paper, and they were making $500,000, $1 million plus. And I had to really ask myself, well, what's the difference there? So it's the way that we all think, or the way that I was thinking. And as I continued going back and deep inside, I started clearing everything out. Those feelings of shame and guilt, they were tough. They were really, really tough to handle. And they were tough because they went, from my own experience, and when I went down the 300 or 400% deeper in the mess type of experience than everybody else. That was part of my soul contract. And above that was a feeling of grief, which was another nasty one. And I mean, something like watching a dog die, or I lost a friend many years ago to cancer. That really hurt. Now, there's some good news to this. So you keep going up the ladder of the emotional entanglements. Then there's the feeling of anger, and good God, man, there's all kind of stuff attached to that. So at any point if you're ever expressing anger, anger is not the issue, because there's all kind of emotional entanglements underneath it. Now this is the juicy part. This is the good stuff here. I remember the one day I had a feeling whatever I was doing was never good enough. And whatever I was doing, I finished it up for the evening. I stepped out, went down the street, I had a glass of wine, and in my mind's eye, I was experiencing a couple things. I wrote on the paper a couple paragraphs, and the next thing I knew, in my mind's eye, it opened up, and it was me, and I was literally floating around, I could say, in a massive, almost a complete type 360-degree Roman Colosseum. And the ceiling was something else. I'm floating in this Colosseum. So hear me out with this. There's no way I'd be speaking about it, as I went through it many, many years ago. And as I'm floating in my mind's eye, I'm floating around there, and everywhere I'm looking in this Roman Colosseum, there's hundreds of thousands of these tiny little cupboards. It's like being in a kitchen, and you have all these cupboard doors. So just be open-minded with this. The next few seconds later, all the cupboard doors opened up, and out came all these files throughout my life, from this lifetime and from the other past lifetimes. Needless to say, the universe was giving me, many years ago, a glimpse of what I was going through, or what things that I was processing. And I think for every person it's a little different. Everyone's unique. We are all, as a spiritual being, we're all coming here to do something else. Each and every one of us carries a different key to unlock whatever we're coming here to unlock. And what I like to share with this is all these files, when they came out, they cycled around me, and then they got sent back up into the universe as a closed file. And that experience happened after I did a lot of deeper work on the inside. So it wasn't all vibrating on the high frequencies. It was everything in the foundation. And when they were properly anchored out and cleared out, or when I addressed them, saw the anchors that were inside, I cut them, I unplugged them, and said, "Thank you, universe, I no longer need this anymore." I made the decision after that I had to say thank you very much. And that experience lasted for a few more minutes. And then the next thing I knew is, if you can imagine like having like a round circle, and having like a large pie slice being taken out of that pie, or out of that circle. That large pie was the energetic karma that got released. And that was one of many other experiences that came out of it. And that's what my soul was after. And once that was released, whatever I felt in my chest and in several of my organs that were internally stressed, and specifically back into my subconscious mind, once they were all cleared out, it was the most peaceful and beautiful thing. So, something I wanted to share. So that was one of my unique experiences many years ago, clearing out things from the emotional foundation. And yes, it is very, very true that each and every one of us, we carry something from the past. It's not our first lifetime here. And this is a place to close everything. So once it's closed, as I mentioned there in a few of my posts there, the universe and the soul, they'll assist anyone that's ready to take the leap of faith. And the best thing I ever did is I took a chance on me, and I kept moving with it. So it doesn't take a lifetime doing this anymore. You can literally do it in several weeks, comfortably 2 to 4 months. And you spend a year working at it, you can have a massive amount of this mess cleared out. So if this resonates with you, reach out, connect, like, or share. I thank you for your time. And as always, be kind with yourself, treat each other well, Until next time, enjoy your day.